What's up to the 22.1 thousand Grimdark subscribers of my channel? Would you believe it? This time I've got a Tau video. What are the odds? There are plainly too few detachments in the 10th edition Tau Codex. Some people have called it poor. Personally, I feel the Codex would have benefited from a very cool Stealth Cadre detachment, leaning into slippery flexibility. Perhaps that would make a good subject for a future video. This one, however, is instead a different detachment idea I've had cooking for a while, intended to utilize a unit type the Tau are situated to flex uniquely, while providing them a thematic set of rules which serves that end. And it can be summarized simply as Tau Empire meets Titanfall. Here we go. Since this is intended to be a homebrew Tau Empire detachment, we're stuck using the For the Greater Good army rule. It's a bit wordy, but I don't think it's bad. It requires your Tau units to work together to improve their skill at arms, and unlike the Leagues of Votann army rule, it confers an increase to skill as opposed to a positive hit modifier, which in my estimation is the right way to handle armies of average skill, utilizing their mechanics to attack at an adequate skill standard. The detachment rule here is synchronized warfare. The detachment itself is themed around unorthodox battlesuit pilots working in tandem with AI battle systems, though it requires a few mods to make it work. The ballistic skill of all ranged weapons equipped by commander battlesuits changes to 5+, the AI standard as seen on drones, and each commander battlesuit gains the transport keyword and ability, though they can only transport a unit of 1. And the only unit it can transport is a custom unit, which is a pilot commander, largely boiling down to a Cadre Fireblade with some alterations. For starters, the Fireblade Pulse Rifle is replaced with a special issue Pulse Carbine. We swap out the leader ability and instead gain stealth, and the Fireblade's Crack Shot and Volley Fire abilities are instead replaced with 2 War Gear abilities. Jump Kit allows the pilot to roll 3 dice selecting 1 when advancing, and Tactical Grapple allows them to ignore terrain when moving, similar to the Space Marine Reaver's Grapnel Launcher. Paired with Stealth, these 2 abilities make pilot commanders quite agile when on foot, much like the pilots of Titanfall. And what ties everything together is the pilot's main ability, Neural Drift. While a pilot commander is embarked within a commander battlesuit, that battlesuit gains the pilot keyword, an increase to the skill of all weapons, bumping them up to 3+, and it can benefit from its battlesuit ability even while it's not leading a unit. Now this may seem like we've just taken a bunch of steps to worsen the base skill of battlesuit commanders, while at the same time making it so now the typical skill performance requires an additional unit, and that is sort of true. But what we've also done is create a unique gameplay hook for this unorthodox battlesuit detachment. Tau Commander battlesuits now have a very atypical profile in that they are a transport of 1, which brings with it all the tactical affordances transports innately carry. For example, pilot commanders can now disembark and run off to do side quests while their battlesuit remains at a desirable location. And it gives the Tau a unique kind of recursion for their commanders through being able to jump into replacement suits. And sure, it's not as innately potent as simply standing your unit back up like how Guilliman gets to, but at least here you don't have to roll for the chance. Should your commander's suit be destroyed, you would disembark from a destroyed transport as normal and make it your priority to get that pilot a replacement suit. Which is very Titanfall. It's an affordance that makes this detachment a special type of encounter compared to other factions. And from a design point of view, having transports of 1 for their ace commanders to utilize makes for a very unique flex. It is an abnormal style of warfare. It's, dare I say, alien compared to the Imperial standard. To support the dream, we've got 4 enhancements, the first of which is Emergency Evac Kit. It's for pilots only, and allows the bearer to ignore any mortal wounds when disembarking from a destroyed battlesuit transport. But more interestingly, it allows the bearer to be set up wholly within 4d6 inches of its battlesuit instead of 3 inches. It's a potent and unique exception, well suited to the themes of the detachment.
75%. Enemy scorched tank. Oh shoot, the harvester's getting barraged by mortar titans.
Skyfall Launch Bay is a pilot-only rapid response tool. allowing the bearer's unit to once per battle deploy from reserves into engagement range of an enemy unit which made a charge move that phase. It's akin to the Sanguinor's ability, and while it's atypical for the Tau, it's the kind of reactive measure suited to an unorthodox Tau detachment. And unlike the Sanguinor, who also fights first, battlesuits do not. And so I've rolled in a tank shock style effect, because...
Titans, listen up. Look near the edges of your minimap to find them.
Drop Site Uplink serves as a means to provide free rapid ingress through allowing the bearer to fire off markers which function akin to the teleport homers of Space Marine Terminators. The range of those markers is based on the bearer's ranged weapons, making it a good enhancement for a Cadre Fireblade or a Firesight team. Units setting up still need to remain outside of 9 inches from enemy models, but it creates some command point breathing room while encouraging a playstyle pillar focused on dynamically dropping in battlesuits. And lastly, we have 100% drift compatibility. It's a simple efficiency booster for a pilot, enhancing the leadership of their battlesuit and providing a reroll each time their battlesuit makes an attack while they are embarked within it. On to stratagems, the first 4 of which are Wargear weapon system based. Burst Fire Payload is a ranged quantity efficiency booster. After an enemy unit is hit by an air-bursting fragmentation projector, you then select a battlesuit unit and that unit's burst cannon and missile type weapons gain sustained hits 1. And if those weapons are equipped by a pilot commander, they score critical hits on 5+. It's certainly poised for Fire Knife and Star Scythe crisis teams, but can also well serve some missile sides. So blast away.
We've lost another pilot, Steve. Keep it together.
Thermite Saturation is a close-range quality efficiency booster. Used after an enemy unit is hit by an ion weapon, you then select a battlesuit unit, and its torrent, i.e. flamer weapons, in that unit gain devastating wounds. And if those weapons are equipped by a pilot commander, you can re-roll the dice to determine the number of attacks. It seemed fitting for an aberrant Tau detachment to have deadly close-range shooting tools, and this stratagem allows their flamers to burn through armor. So you could take a flame-dedicated commander and a Star Scythe crisis team and say,
"Come on, Boogie, let's burn this motherfucker down!"
Plasma Sky Strike is a ranged utility booster, used in your shooting phase on a battlesuit unit that has not yet made ranged attacks. It doubles the range of plasma-type weapons, and if those weapons are wielded by a pilot commander, they gain precision. It allows a plasma-dedicated Fire Knife crisis team to leverage their potent plasma rifles from a much safer distance. And it gives you an ace to threaten force multiplying enemy characters leading units when wielded by a plasma-dedicated commander, granting them 4 36-inch Strength 8 AP3 3 damage precision attacks, which would happily benefit from the Fire Knife ability of their crisis team. And of course, we have Fusion Blades, a mechanic that oozes cool, and one I deem crucial for an unorthodox battlesuit-oriented Tau detachment. It's used in the fight phase, and for 1 command point it gives each model in a battlesuit unit which has 2 or more fusion weapons the Fusion Blades profile. It effectively grants 2 extra attacks, or 3 extra attacks if it's a commander, which are twin-linked and have the profile of their ranged fusion weapon counterpart, creating a potent combat option at the cost of a command point, though the prolonged fusion burn makes it hazardous, so it's not without risk. Algorithmic Guidance is this detachment's out-of-phase reactive utility stratagem. It grants an out-of-phase 6-inch move at the end of the enemy movement phase for battlesuit units or units with accompanying drones. Principally, out-of-phase movement is big money value, and so it's a 2 command point stratagem. Those units cannot use that move to embark within transports, though it allows for an unoccupied commander battlesuit to scoop up a pilot for a cheeky out-of-phase embark. And lastly, we have Tether Traps. Simply, it allows you to select an enemy vehicle or monster unit in the enemy charge phase within 12 inches of a friendly vehicle unit, forcing that unit to subtract between 2 to 3 inches from their charge rolls. And that's it. Here's my take on an unorthodox Titanfall-inspired Tau detachment. One which I can't help but look at fondly, as it really adds an alien bend to the Tau through leveraging 1-slot transports and other unique tools, which helps foil them relative to the Imperial standard. With regards to enhancement costs, perhaps there needs to be some refining. And with that in mind, if any Tau players would like to give this homebrew detachment a whirl, You can find a link to this PDF in the description of this video. Feedback is always welcome, as the goal with these sorts of things is to make them as tasteful as possible. Well, that's a wrap on this one. If you enjoyed this video, there are buttons for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to Julius Maximus, as well as my other generous patrons and channel members. Lately I've been doing hobby live streams, and currently I'm in the midst of a Wordbearer's arc. So if chill hobby jams are your thing, join in, and let's get those projects done. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.